Hi, my name is Craig Steenkamp. I'm the Associate for Housing Recovery and Volunteer Programs at Back Bay Mission. I'm standing here with Miss Dawn at her house at 240 Coon Street in Biloxi, in East Biloxi, and we're about to take you for a walkthrough on what we believe was bad work done and thus not allowing Miss Dawn to move back into her property, and this has been for several years vacant now, I believe since 2010. And this is Miss Dawn.
My name is Dawn Lundberger, and I'm the owner of this property for 22 years. I'm hoping and praying that we can get some help on assisting me to return home, and looking for help for that.
So briefly, Miss Dawn had the house repaired by an organization after the storm and brought up to what they believed was code. And when she was told, surprisingly, that her house had to be elevated, she went and sought out a contractor to come and fix the foundation and raise the house to the new elevation codes, which was several feet in the air. And so once that was done, once the house was raised, it caused more damage to the actual structure, to the house. And because of that new damage, she was never able to return back to her house because she was never able to get the certificate of occupancy to move back into the house. And so this was 3 years ago, and Ms. Dawn is still seeking assistance to move back home, has been living with family for that long, trying to figure out a way to get home, and has suffered tragedies including a death in the family, and not having a home has been tough on her over the years. So I will walk you through what we believe is most of the problems with the property, and give you a brief overview of what needs to be done, and hopefully you can see what we're talking about. So this is the underneath of the house, and we're briefly going to walk through and just point to a couple of issues and discuss them that have caused more problems for the actual structure of the house that the contractor had done work on and got paid for, but was obviously bad work. And first case in point, this whole seal plate under the house is absolutely collapsing, and they had somebody prop it up with a 4x4 so it would not collapse any further. And the contractor had actually left this like this and said it was all good and it would pass inspection. So obviously the work was shoddy, and I can show you instances like this where you have this whole seal plate bowing and things not secured properly. If you come around over here, a lot of the work was scabbed together and not consistent with having a consistent foundation to level it all off, including all this work here. They scabbed together a lot of work that just was not consistent to have a level house, using a lot of the old material that was with the structure and new material on top of the new foundations they put in. Probably the spans were too long for the material used to level the house off, and that's why everything's sagging, on top of scabbing onto old material that wasn't secure in the first place. So we've got several issues like this over here too. The old seal plate still remains with the new seal plate was scabbed on, and it's just not even secure properly. The first thing that's going to have to be done to this property is that we're going to have to fix the foundation and get the house supported properly and leveled properly. If we do not do that, we run in the danger of having the structure continue to collapse and tear apart, and thus nobody will be able to get a certificate of occupancy to move into this house. At this point, it's at such a bad state that I wouldn't be surprised if they had to tell you to tear it all down and fix it. But it is fixable. It's always fixable. I believe strongly in that. We just got to make sure that we can fit the numbers and make sure that it's fixable. At this point, if we fix this foundation, level it off properly, and use the right materials to level it off properly, we can certainly then approach the upstairs and fix the house properly. But we run the danger right now of, if we don't fix this foundation, it's pointless fixing the rest of the house. So as we walk upstairs and go into the property, I'm just going to point out a few things as we walk up the stairs. Case in point, we have all the siding that was installed after the storm. It was all installed incorrectly and not secured properly, and so eventually it's going to fall off. Wind will take it off. So we are back at Miss Dawn's house at 240 Coon Street. Last week we had a group come through, actually 2 groups from Connecticut come through, and we did a bunch of work on the house. We fixed the foundation work that was such a horrible shape that was done by a contractor, and we also tore off all the siding on the house and replaced all the siding and fixed all the trim around the windows that was in such poor shape and incorrectly installed. We also tore the whole roof off the house and replaced a lot of rotten wood and rotten boards and replaced the whole roof. So the roof is in good shape. What I call the envelope, the whole exterior of the house, is all in good shape now, and now we can start working on the inside. We also had the whole group go inside last week and gut everything out of the house, basically tear everything out of the house except for the framing, the electrical, plumbing, and air conditioning. We have since got all the plumbing fixed properly like it should have been from the get-go. We're in the process of getting our electrical and air conditioning fixed, and once we get that fixed, we can start finishing the house out on the inside. So let's take a walk inside and I'll show you what we're doing inside and what the mess we got to deal with and figure out. So as you can see when you walk in the house, everything is exposed in the house, so there's no drywall on the walls and stuff like that. We've had the plumbing all redone because it was none of it was correct. We are again in the process of getting all the electrical redone because that was incorrect, and so was the air conditioning system. So once that is redone, we can then start replacing, make sure all the framing is good. We'll go through all of our inspections on the house, including framing and mechanicals, which are electrical, plumbing, and air conditioning. Once that is completed, we can start hanging drywall. That'll probably be a week to 2 week process. Then we can start finishing the house out, meaning putting floors down, putting cabinets in, putting all our trim work in, our baseboards, our doors, stuff like that. And then we can call our contractors back in to finish the electrical, the plumbing, and air conditioning, so we can get the house powered up and the lady can move in. So again, one of our issues with the electrical system was that when we got here, there were only 2 or 3 breakers in our breaker panel and not even enough wires for any other electrical, and since we saw that, we knew that there was going to be a lot of electrical issues, and we found that there was a lot of junction boxes in this house that were nowhere near to today's code, and so tearing everything out, we can at least find all the junction boxes and narrow down where the wires need to go to and bring all that power from each and every room to its individual breaker inside this breaker box. The code is now that every room in the house has to have its own individual breaker, and so we see that that's not the case in this scenario. So we'll be fixing that issue right up front. That contractor is scheduled to come in tomorrow and start fixing that and narrowing down where all the issues are and problems are with the electrical system, and right behind him will be the AC contractor. So what we'll need help on with the rest of the project is finishing the drywall, the flooring, all the cabinets, all the trim carpentry, and the estimated value on that right now just for the materials is going to be around $30,000, and we know that volunteers can do all that work. We've proven that in the past. Typically, normal contractor would come in here and charge us about $60,000 to do it. So If we can just drum up the money to get the volunteers involved or with the labor and get all the materials purchased, we think we can have all this purchased and done, you know, in the next couple of months if we can. So without your help and without Back Bay Mission's help, Miss Dawn would probably never be able to move back home, and she has been out of this home now since Hurricane Katrina, and she would lose all hope basically. So we ask for your help. We pray that we get the help, and we move Miss Dawn back home. Thank you.